All right, Signpost community, we are here to explore the kidneys today. And the kidneys, um, as we're coming out of winter, the kidneys are connected to the winter element. So, winter is a time of inwardness, inner reflection, introspection, gathering resources for the coming spring, um, contemplating how the spring will unfold, how you want to use your energy. And the kidneys are a really important foundational element for launching forward. They supply chi to most of the body, to most of the other organs. So yeah, we're going to dive into some kidney work today. As always, just a really quick check-in with everybody. We've got a small group, so we've got plenty of time to go through everybody. So just what brings you to the call today? What do you hope to get out of it? Let's start with Rachel today. Oh, we can't hear you guys. So close. The video's on, but no audio. Monique, do you want to go while they're getting that set up? What brings you to the call today, and what do you want to get out of it?
Yeah, I'm having the opposite problem. I can't get my video on. um, I like I was telling you, I've been having a lot of internal transitional feelings and stuff like that, and I just know that the few times I've done this practice, there's been like this sense of like more clarity and calm that I kind of feel like a centeredness about this type of thing. So I'm excited to feel some of that. And I also I messaged you privately. I've noticed that I get energy. Like I feel more I have more energy days that I've done this practice. So I'll
Yes.
take that all day as a non-sacral, you know what I'm saying? Always searching for that energy thing.
That's awesome. And yeah, and I love that. I love that you brought that up for everyone listening. The thing with non-sacral types that I've heard from clients and people like yourself that I get to meet with, when they're doing the Qigong practice, they really understand that all types, regardless of defined sacral or not, can plug into the earth and source energy up, and that there are these energetic channels up at the legs. So it's so important to open the legs, open the leg channels. We'll be talking about that again today. And the way your energy shows up through the sacral is different, depending on where the planets are and who you're around. Yet you can always source that energy from the earth. You can plug into it. So beautiful. And I love that you brought up the word calm. Kidneys are all about calming the nervous system. How's the audio going over in Jonah land?
I was able to change over to this built-in microphone, to the one on the
Perfect.
little
Working
webcam. I
great.
also talked really close to it though. The other one was kind of out in the room. But yeah, if I guess we can give a little update. Do you want to do yours? Sure, we'll just give our little update. So mine is just the Qigong has been really nice for me every time I've been able to attend or watch any of them back. Yeah, it's a really powerful practice, and I can just feel it, immediately. So I'm excited to explore some of the different areas. And you mentioned kidneys, and I was actually about to go grab some water. So I think staying hydrated is very important as well, and not overworking the kidneys. Dehydration actually works the kidneys more because they don't have enough. It's kind of like if it's trying to process something very dense,
Yeah.
it has to work harder. So you actually want to, like if you're taking a lot of vitamins, that'll push the kidneys to process a lot. Make sure to drink a lot of water too. So
Yes. Hydration. Go get your water, Jonah.
yeah.
All right. Rachel, how about you?
I was excited when you said kidneys because I'm about to start bleeding and my kidney points are really tender. And so I think this will be really nice support. And then I always enjoy getting your guidance. I feel like when you're guiding me in these postures, I feel like a total professional Qigong person. Like, I'm like, wow, I feel really like, I don't know, whatever your cues are, just bring me to this really like master level, it feels like in my body. So
Mm,
thank you.
that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Rachel. All right, I'm excited. And Qigong stands for energy mastery. So I love that you're feeling that mastery more and more and more and locking into it. So that's super exciting. So just going to share a little geeky stuff today. So kidneys are, this picture makes them look like they're in the front of the body, but they're actually not. They're in that location, but they're in the back. So they're kind of like right here. So I wanted to use that image because it just makes them nice and clear. So as we now look at the energetic channels, where they originate is actually, oh shoot, you can kind of see it, but it's at the pinky. So it's the bottom of your pinky toe, the bottom of your pinky toe, your tiny little toe, is where that originates. And then it goes under your foot and like onto the other side and up the inside of your leg. So your pinky toe is where that energy originates from and then comes up the inside of your leg, comes into your coccyx, comes into the root of the spine. So root center is big here, you know, feeling rooted, feeling safe. And then it continues up into the sacral and it kind of goes around your sexual organs, travels around. You can see here, kind of goes around your bladder and your sexual organs. And then it starts to traverse up the spine all the way to the base of the throat, and actually all the way to the root of the tongue is where it goes. So it's traveling through the kidneys here, into the liver, through the heart. And it's really, the kidney chi flows into all the organs. So I'll show another image of that in a second. But if you look here, there's these two kind of columns of energy. So that might look familiar if you're thinking about your human design chart. So we'll map that out in a second. So the original nature of the kidneys is willpower, wisdom, and focus. So when you think of willpower, you might think of the ego center. You know, wisdom and focus. There's a little bit of the spleen in there. Focus, the root center. Where are we going to focus all this drive and motivation? And I'll be sharing the human design chart in a second. So acquired nature, fear, shock, and terror. So worry and terror, and what are we going to do, and what can we trust the unknown, can we trust all that's gonna happen, so the nervous system can get into this heightened state. And the kidneys calm heightened state. They send out calming chemicals throughout the body to allow you to tap into your inner wisdom. The color associated with the kidneys is blue, winter season. The tissues, the adductors, which are the insides of the thighs, the where the thighs meet each other. The mid-back, so right where the kidneys are. The hip flexors, the psoas muscle that kind of connects your hips and your legs together. Hamstring, shins, diaphragm. So center of the body here, and you know, most of the legs. So again, rooting, foundation, feeling safe, locked into the earth. The sound is you. So we'll be playing with you a little bit later as well. So this is the energetic flow. You can see there's a yin kidney and a yang kidney. And the Mingmen is right in between them. The Mingmen is also located in your back, kind of like right here. So it's kind of actually it's a little lower. So the Mingmen comes almost in alignment with your navel, but a little lower. And the Mingmen is an energetic source of energy. You can think it's kind of that energy is coming up your legs, hitting your root, entering your root center, and then it explodes. And the yang energy goes to the spleen, the yin energy goes to the liver, lungs, and heart. So the kidneys cycle chi throughout the body. So even though, again, we never talk about the kidneys per se in human design, they are so important to allowing your body to be calm. Your not self patterns, when your not self patterns rise to the surface, the acquired nature, fear, terror, worry, you can use kidney movements, kidney breath, kidney exercises to calm that down so that your energy can move as it's designed to. So if we look at the chart, you know, we have those two collective channels. So the kidneys are connected to a lot of the collective and tribal circuitry. So we can almost see mimicked here, the kidney chi going to the spleen, kidney chi going to the liver. So you have the kidney chi going to the spleen, you know, right at the Mingmen, kind of in the root center, moving into the liver. The liver kind of coincides with your solar plexus center. So the liver is very big. It's in this whole area here. So then we have that energy traveling through the ego center, the heart, the willpower aspect of the original nature here. And then also the shock of 51. And, you know, shocking yourself, shocking others. And this acquired nature of shock cannot, you know, there's the shadow and the gift side of it. So the shock is designed to be in a really gift-oriented way, but there's also can be the shadow of it if your nervous system isn't prepared for that shock. And then continuing to travel up into the throat to expression and even to the mind a little bit at the very base of the mind. So, you know, the themes here, if we think about it, more drive. How do we use our drive to move up the material realm, to interact with our tribes, to move up the hierarchy? How do we make sure that we have enough energy to get through the cycles that we're entering into? You know, again, to your point, Monique, even if you have an open sacral, you know, the idea of having enough energy to move through what you're entering into in life, even if you're entering into it in very different, unique ways. And then we have the focus and stillness of 52-9 and the routine and, you know, that helps us move through extremes. So there's this collective. This is really about how do we interact with the world? How do we use healthy willpower to move through the collective, to share what we have to share, to support tribes that we're involved with? And obviously very connected to sexuality, moving through the sexual organs, as we talked about before. So the kidneys are just foundational. Like the winter is the foundation for the year. The kidneys are the foundation for everything else. So connected to the second chakra, not self, can be neediness, codependency patterns as well. On the movement of karma through your system into the collective to be cleared. When balanced, not discouraged by difficulty. The unknown, you're ready, you're focused, you use your wisdom, clear perspective, sensitive, intuitive, powerful, and tender at the same time, a very firm will, and clear boundaries, which brings us to 3740 connection here. You know, moving from the liver into the heart. So really setting clear boundaries, not waiting until anger builds up, which is the liver. You know, if you can catch the boundary early enough and set it proactively, then everything functions normally. This is part of the kidneys. So when unbalanced, lacking spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical energy, giving up on life, giving your power away to the external, lacking determination. And so again, the kidney, I already kind of shared this, the kidney flows chi into almost everything. So this is a lot of nervous system regulation and calming. So let's, with that in mind, keep that in mind. Just, you know, we're going to switch to movement now, but I'm going to keep this on the screen for a second because I just want you to realize like what we're working with here. So we're working with the pinky, so the little toe, wrapping around the foot, up the inner leg channels, coming into the sacral region, moving around the organs here. So kind of, this is called the belt vessel in Qigong. So we want to wake up the belt vessel. So the energy kind of moves around, goes into around the bladder, around the liver, and then it comes up your central channel and it moves up and down your spine and cycles energy throughout, which helps us share, comes right to the root of the tongue. It gives us the power to speak, you know, and share with the collective and support the tribe. So, all right, so let me get situated here, get my microphone hooked up. All right, perfect. So you've all joined me before, so this is great. So lock into your posture, feet straight ahead, shoulder width, and bending those knees, tucking that tailbone. This is actually extra important today because we're working with the kidneys. So if your butt's out, you want to tuck it in. That'll force your knees to bend, and your back will be flat. And what we're working with is right here today, the kidneys. So in this place, we're going to do our warm-ups. Warm-ups are the most important thing of Qigong. If it's the only thing you do every day, you're doing amazing. This is kind of the boring Qigong. You know, it's not the cool movements, but it is foundational and it is about energy mastery, consistency, focus, willpower, dedication to a practice. So bouncing here, making sure that tailbone's tucked. Letting any exhales or sounds come out that want to. Whew. Good, holding those logs. Helping to cleanse out the liver and spleen. Releasing pent-up anger that is ready to release, releasing fear. Palms facing the heart, hugging the tree. beaming your heart with light, helping to clear out anxiety. Hands being marionated by your higher self, letting the unique aspect of your consciousness rain down on you and clear off anything that isn't serving you. And gentle back bend here. So clenching those butt cheeks together really tight, making sure your tailbone's tucked to protect the knees and lower back. Gentle back bend. Opening your heart, opening your lungs, dropping the shoulders back into their sockets. And then forward folding. I mean, not a full forward fold, just folding forward. Kind of going back and forth, letting the weight of the world fall off your shoulders. Good. And then come to a stop. Come to holding post. Hold that chi ball. Adjust your posture. Pulling that crown up to the sky with a golden cord, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. And just notice. Breathing the hands up to the heart. Exhale, drop the elbows, hands to solar plexus, twist. Now remember, this is important because all these channels, the kidney channels, come up through this region on the inside of the leg. So the twist originates here, not in your arm. Your arms are not doing the twisting. There's a little dip, a dip in your hip. And then the twist just happens. So what that does is it localizes. You should feel like you're wringing out this area here. You're wringing out your liver, you're wringing out your spleen. Knees are doing a slight bend, but your knees are, if you watch where my knees are going, they're not really going past this tiny little axis because we're not twisting the lower body here too much. We should feel the twist really here and here. Yeah, really good. Then let your arms hang loose and just ring the temple bell. Let your hip momentum. So this is where we're hitting the kidneys. You want to be hitting right here in this region. And gentle, but the hips are, again, building the momentum. There's no power in my arms right now. And if you want, if it feels good, you can have that front hand hit up in the lung point, up by your shoulder. If that feels good, you can play around with that. A little bit more here. And then slowly letting the spin slow down and come to a halt. Now we're going to do kidney rubs. It's kidney day, so I like to do a lot of these, but we're definitely going to do 200. So trust your body. If you can't get through the full 200, give yourself a rest. But if you can get your palms to the kidneys, that's great. This hurts my shoulders, so I use the back of my hands. And you're going to tuck your tailbone, make sure you're in the proper posture. And then we're just going to rub our kidneys while we're bouncing 200 times. Making sure those feet are shoulder width, tailbone's tucked. You're going to probably feel some heat generate here. Imagine we're boiling the water of the kidneys. The water element is the kidneys. And we're just boiling that water, helping to move it through the system. I think we're at about 100 here, 100 more. Probably might be feeling some burn in your shoulders. If it feels good to allow that burn and continue on, great. If you need a break, that's okay. About 50 more. You got this. Oh, sending so much love to our kidneys. About 20 more here. Last 10. Okay, come back to holding post. Let those shoulders, roll them out if you need to a little bit. And then letting them drop down, letting your lats drop down into their sockets. And just notice. Okay, we're gonna breathe our arms up. Exhaling, drop the shoulders. Inhaling, tabletop. Stay here for a little while, do a few rounds of breath. Pulsing those knees. Waking up the leg channels, the inner and back leg channels. And on the next exhale, let yourself fully forward fold. This is one of the most important movements for the kidneys, so we're gonna stay here for a little while. So as you're in your forward fold, I want you to notice your lower back. So I want you to, just breathe into that lower back. Notice that your stomach is going to be crunched in. So it almost helps to force your breath into the lower back, into the mid back. So focus on breathing deeply into your mid back here. Massaging the kidneys with your chi. Pulsing the knees if it feels good. And on the next inhale, putting your weight in your heels and then slowly coming up one vertebrae at a time. At the top, exhaling, rotating your palms forward and then back into a gentle back bend. Squeezing those butt cheeks together, protecting your back and knees. Good. Inhaling, arms up, back straight. Exhale, forward fold. Again, take a few rounds of breath here. It's so good for the kidneys. Pulsing the knees if it feels good, but really focus on breathing into that mid back. Imagining fear and worry just falling off your head, falling off your fingertips. Weight in the heels on the next inhale, coming up one vertebrae at a time. At the top, rotating palms forward into a gentle back bend, opening your heart and lungs. Letting the kidney chi flow up into your heart. Releasing any anxiety, releasing any blocks to expressing, to acting, to healthy willpower. One more time, inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Taking 3 rounds of breath here into the kidneys. Good. On the next inhale, weight in the heels. Coming up one vertebrae at a time. At the top, rotating palms. Gentle back bend, squeezing butt cheeks together. Feeling the kidneys doing their work. Calming the system. Allowing you to be more open to the world. And then coming back to holding post. Just settling in here, adjusting your posture if needed, noticing. So now what I want you to do is we're actually going to go into a little bit of a wider stance. So actually from the way you get to the perfect width is from shoulder width. Put your toes out once. Like kind of, oh, you can't see my feet, can you? So just like toes out, like at an angle, 45-degree angle, and then heels out. And that's the perfect. So now your feet are straight again. They're just a little bit wider. So from here, we're going to do a very more gentle water movement. So we just focused on a more physical, waking up those channels that come under the foot, up the legs, and in here. Now we're going to move at a more chi level. So that was jing, the physical level. Now we're going to move at a chi level. So I want you to take your right hand and kind of imagine you're holding a ball in it across your body. Good. Yep. So knees are still kind of forward facing straight. And then you're going to take your left hand and put it on your right kidney. So it's like the back of your hand is touching that opposite kidney. Okay, so now we're kind of looking, imagine you're holding like a sacred chalice to gather water in. And now we're going to do a few of these together because, to get used to the movement. But what it is we're going to paint the sky. So actually, let's do the legs first because it's really important that we get this right. So, and not so important, like if you don't have to get it perfect, you're not, but as long as we don't hurt ourselves here. So focusing on the legs. So just forget about the hands for a second. So what's going to be happening is as I move across, I'm going to be dipping into almost a side lunge, but not very deep. So there's going to be a natural, as my hand is moving, the butt's going to go back, but you see my knee is still over my feet. So it's going to be really hard for me to watch you all and see from Zoom. So the most important thing is to make sure that knee doesn't go over the toes. So don't try to push yourself to go too far down. If you can just get here or here, wherever it is, this isn't about going deep, but we are shifting the weight into that, in the first movement, into that right leg. And then, but I want you to play with something else here. So this is where we get into really cool body mechanics. So imagine pushing your weight to the right, like just push yourself down. So we're kind of using this heel to almost push down into that leg. You want to be a little wider, Rachel. And then, so we're in a little bit of a wider stance here. Can you all hear me? So then now I want you to play with, instead of pushing from the left leg, pull with these inner muscles, pull with the kidney channels. So I'm going to pull myself over. And notice the difference of that. Pull. This is where we really get to move the water chi. So then when you pull yourself, you're going to reach a point where you can't really go down any further. And when that happens, you're going to dip down. And we're going to take that sacred chalice and scoop water. And then we're going to pull with the left leg now. So pull the left leg, scooping the water, and back to the starting point. We're going to start pulling it all together. So now my weight's in this heel. Now pull with your right leg as you paint the sky. And it's a little bit weird at first because we're not used to pulling. But then as soon as you pull and you can't go any farther, let your torso bend down. And then gathering the water, scooping it up, and then pull yourself across to the right. Letting yourself hinge down. Pulling yourself to the left and up. Yeah, you're all looking really good. Okay, so now we're going to connect the breath properly to the movement. So inhale, paint the sky. Pull to the right. Exhale. Bring that chi down. Inhale, pull yourself to the left as you gather fresh water chi. And then this time, let's pause here at the top. Let that water chi flow down your arm, down your back, into the kidneys. And then paint the sky. Inhale, pulling to your right, using those right inner muscles to pull. Exhale down. Inhale, gather, using those left leg muscles to pull you to the left. Exhaling. Pause here for a moment. You're all looking really good, so just flow now. Go your own pace. Play, experiment. Stay tuned into your kidneys. Notice what you feel, if you feel any heat or any sensations. Pause wherever you'd like. Slow down, speed up. Kitty wants in on the action. It's cool. Animals love Qigong. And if it feels good, practice play with closing your eyes or opening them if they were closed. Letting yourself have a 1,000-yard stare. When you're bending down, just really focus as you're inhaling that water chi, inhaling into your lower back, into that mid back. And you can even play as you're painting the sky, you can paint in front of your throat, clearing, gathering any blockages in your throat, giving back to the waters, giving back to Mother Earth, gathering fresh water chi. Or you can play with painting the sky even above your crown or in front of your third eye. Let yourself play a little bit. Just 2 more on this side, and we're going to switch sides. Okay, when you get up to the top on this one, stay here for a little while. And then right now your weight should be in your left heel. So switch your weight to your right heel and switch arms. So now left arm is out in front. You're looking at the left arm, right arm is behind your back. And go ahead, same thing. Find your flow here. Practice pulling with your leg muscles. Really envisioning your hand moving through sacred waters. Calming any excess fire in your body. Any unhealthy willpower. Forcing through your body's limitations. And letting that water soothe those pressures, soothe those fears, soothe the terror of all the times you had to be in a world that made you force through your inner knowing, your wisdom. giving that back to the waters, helping it transmute as you gather fresh chi, to soothe, to center you in your focus. As you look at your hand at the top, find focus. Painting a new path with your hand into your future that is also now. Tapping into that balanced fire and water, determination. Focus to see things through. A powerful stillness, a tender power. Noticing your breath. And now, what I want you to play with is we're going to bring in the sound you. So just keep flowing. But this time, when you're giving back to the waters, we're going to do a full exhale. We're not just going to exhale. So I'm going to inhale, paint the sky. And I'm going to exhale with a you. You. Hopefully, can you all hear that sound I'm making? Okay, good. Thank you, Jonah. You. And see if you can even feel your kidneys vibrating on that backhand. Or inhaling, and the sound helps us purge fear. You. You. Let's just do two more here. You. Last one. You. Okay, when you get to the top, let's switch again, putting the weight back in the left. And let's just do a few sound purges here. So inhaling, painting the sky. You. If you want to pause at the top, allow yourself to do that, going at your own pace. You. You. So now, last element I'm going to add in, you're all doing so good, is now we're going to tonify with light. So continuing your flow. But now, whenever you're inhaling, if you're inhaling as you paint the sky, or if you're inhaling as you gather fresh water chi, all that space we just created and what we released, breathing in and imagining, closing your eyes if you need to, fresh, bright blue, nourishing light. And imagine it filling up your two kidneys. Imagine that picture I showed you at the beginning, those two powerful kidneys to your left and right. Just imagine your breath gathering this amazing blue chi from all directions and just filling and brightening your kidneys. Last one on this side. When you get to the top, switch sides again. Putting weight into the other heel, switching arms. Doing a few here. Breathing in that beautiful bright blue light. Letting yourself get lost if you can. In the movement, in the moment. In the trust, in the focus. Tonifying focus. Last two here. When you get to the top, looking at your chalice once again, bringing those heels in, bringing those toes in, coming back to shoulder width, back to holding post. Tucking the tailbone, lengthening the spine, putting those shoulders back and down into their sockets, and noticing. We just allow the kidneys to calm the body. So we're going to do really gentle tapping today. So taking your right hand, left shoulder, just gentle, really, really gentle. Or, for me, I'm feeling really gentle. So trust your body. If you need a little more vigorous, that's okay. Down the thumb side, all the way to the edge of the thumb, up the pinky side. Gathering a little bit at the armpit here. Tapping down to the spleen. Oh, letting out a big exhale as you make nice. Other side. Down the thumb side. Up the pinky. Oh, the liver. Make nice. Just give the kidneys a little bit of gentle rubbing. Oh, thank you, kidneys. And then a little gentle tapping on the belly. Helping move the kidney chi and clear anything that came to the surface here, up to the solar plexus, up to the heart. Make nice. And then just gently breathing the arms up and outside of the legs. And then inhaling and tapping up the inside of the legs. Good. And when you get back to standing, inhaling again. Two more times. Down the outside on the exhale, up the inside on the inhale, helping that kidney chi flow up the insides of our legs. And then one more. Exhaling down, helping the kidney chi flow down the outside of our legs. Fresh chi up. And then find that chi ball one last time. You just spent the last 30 plus minutes cultivating fresh chi, mastering your energy. See if you can feel it in between your hands, on your fingertips. With each inhale, pull your fingers apart a little bit, pulling your hands apart, and with each exhale, contract. And it's okay if you don't notice anything, but just keep your awareness in between your hands. You may feel you're pulling the chi apart like taffy and compacting it in. You may feel you even find the edges of that ball. Wherever you find, trust it. And then using your imagination, if you need to, picturing that ball, rolling it around in your hands, compacting it in tighter and tighter. And find a prayer for your day, a prayer for you, a loved one, or the world. And pack it into that chi. And when you feel ready, hand over hand, bringing that into the belly, and rubbing it in. Ah, nice work, everybody. Let's come back together, either sitting or standing, whatever feels good. I'm going to sit down. Ah, yeah, good. Letting yourself rest in that place. And there's no need to share here, but I would love to invite a little unpacking. What do we notice? What do we feel? Did you feel anything energy-wise, emotion-wise? Whoever would like to go first, feel free.
For me, it got really intense, and there was this amazing raven just like cawing incessantly outside the house. So I just had to leave.
Oh, wow.
It was really intense. And then this magnificent bird was just like, go, go, come out here. So, but it was, I don't know, it was very moving for sure for me.
Can you describe if there's words for it right now, and if there's not, don't force it. But can you
Well,
describe it?
like I always feel a very dense, huge chi ball working with you,
Mm,
and it just feels so good going into the
mm.
body. I don't know.
And
To
what
get
was the intensity?
the intensity, it was like hot and just uncomfortable, and I was
Mm,
distracted, and I just wanted to like go, yeah, like leave, kind of like,
mm.
yeah.
Really interesting. Where did you feel the heat?
Uh, like just like energetically all around, I
Ah,
guess. Yeah, yeah, just like flushed, like
wow.
nice,
Yeah.
like kind of, yeah, just like
Yeah.
a heat flash. Yeah, kind of
Got it.
like a hot flash, but just like heat.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So it's such a powerful experience and awareness of activating your energy. Really interesting that it's coming with the water element. Qigong is all about balancing fire, the heart, the fire element is connected to the heart, and the kidneys in the back is the water. So it's like the cycling of water and fire, and keep trying to find that. Zhoof. So it's really interesting that the waters were boiling so hot. So that's very curious. I would actually invite that if it feels resonant as to work with the water element for a little while. Maybe not for as long, but keep leaning in to see how the water can help cool those fires, because the water might have just brought attention to excess fire,
Yeah,
perhaps. That's one interpretation. I'm not sure if that's what's happening, but that's what came to mind.
thanks.
Yeah, great work. Thank you for sharing. I love your awareness of what's going on. Yeah,
I've thought a lot about heat in the body, and she's cold first, but then also has 59.6 that Alokanant Diaz calls the hottest channel. That it's a very hot channel. It's
Mhm.
like an oven, so it's like a cooking heat of warmth in the emotional center, because of course we know that the spleen is cold, and then the ego and the solar plexus are hot. So but I didn't feel any heat really. I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe around the time you were talking about. And yeah, we were muted, which is probably a good thing, because as much as the Raven sounded cool, it was really just going very strongly. And
Wow.
but I just I have channel of concentration. I was pretty deep in my flow. It was a good flow. It was a really good. I liked going slower and faster. They were each different things. Like you could do the whole cycle in 2 long breaths, or you could do it in 4 breaths. And I
Yeah.
was kind of playing with the difference between those. In the beginning, we went really slow, and then towards the end, we were kind of getting more comfortable. It kind of felt like taffy, like you're just
Mm.
turning that taffy over and over again. I had distinct feeling I was a chi farmer. When you said cultivating chi, I was like, yeah, we are. We just worked it out, and we just kind of, it's like tilling the fields or something. It felt like that. It felt like we were doing some sort of, yeah. And it definitely, you know, the chi felt thick. It was interesting because the whole first exercise we did, you said, was Jing, was a Jing
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah.
And that one, it was great to start, or just like in the beginning anyway, the first exercises. But once we started working with the chi, I mean, even though you're just moving in air, I mean, you feel the thickness because there's something that once you attune to it, your body just naturally finds a speed, and that speed is related to the almost the density of the chi. So
Mm.
it's funny because people who might not have worked with chi energy before, or might not be able to see it or understand it, might say, well, you're just going in midair, you know, how does it feel thick? But it feels thicker than when you're doing Jing exercises.
Totally.
When you're doing Jing, you're just moving in. When you're doing Chi exercises, it's actually slowing you down because you start to feel it and you go, oh, what is
Yes.
that? And you kind of slow down to feel it even stronger. And it really felt like pulling taffy or something.
Ooh, I
Like,
love that, Jonah. I love that you had that experience. I love that you're tuned into that, and you're making bringing up so many important points, because I think that's another benefit of Qigong, especially for human design practitioners who are in their head, understanding their chart. It's like when you really settle into the subtle feeling of it, that helps you feel how it moves through different centers and gates and channels of your body, which we're almost done going through all the organs. So soon we're going to focus on specific gates and channels. But really well said, Jonah. I love that. And the Raven, you know, I don't think I know everything about the Raven, but when I think about Raven medicine and what the Raven has to share with us, it's this like very spiritual, to me, it holds this very spiritual energy of a messenger, a spirit messenger, or like shape-shifting life, like a omen of shape-shifting and big change. So really curious, you know, for you two to feel into that, because you're cheek like I'll be in the park sometimes and I'll have like birds walk up to me, not fly up to me, but like birds like from far away in the park, they're like "Doot, doot, 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 doot," and it takes them like a really long time, but they get there. And like dogs and like, so like animals love qigong, so I would really play with why that Raven was so like blah, blah, like about what you were doing. It's really curious. Monique.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too because my cat was all over it today too, and like I
Yeah.
mean, she was really in it with me, and then when I was scooping down, she was down there and like purring with me about it.
aw.
She was so in it this time, which they've come around before too, and but it seemed like she was really drawn to it today, and she kept going up to. I had to switch to my phone because of stuff, but she kept going up to the phone and hitting it. I thought she was gonna
Oh.
knock you over a couple times. But I'm like, wow, she either really likes his voice or this energy or something. Because especially when I was bending down, she was like there, but my feet purring really loudly.
Oh, wow.
So that was interesting too, and that there was an animal on your end over there in Santa Fe is kind of cool too. But I also just love this. Just puts me in my body in this really cool way, and I feel like a superhero when I start getting in the flow of it. I feel like I start to feel really internally like superhero and powerful and like, oh my God, this is like incredible. And I can feel it so much when you say, can
Mm,
you feel it's,
mm,
and I have the 4426. And so I was thinking about that with that movement because
mm.
of the will stuff
Yeah.
and the wording, some of how I just feel like this practice is so good for me in terms of being a splenic authority. It just makes me feel really connected and dropped into my shit, into my like power. And
Mm.
it's crazy that these movements can give you that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love hearing all that. Thank you for sharing, Monique. And yeah, there's
Hmm.
such a benefit to spending like 15, 20 minutes with one movement. And I think that really allows you to feel into that superpower. I love your insight around the 4426 and the, you know, being able to activate that willpower, to activate, you know, the people around you, the gifts and talents, to be tuned into those gifts and talents of the people around you, and to be that positive manipulator of
Hmm.
your environment and empowering others and feeling into that healthy willpower. That's really, really cool. Thank you. I hadn't really thought about much with the 4426, so that's super helpful. Uh,
Hmm. Thank you.
cool. Yeah, well, thank you all. I know we're at time here, so just, inviting again, if you resonated with this movement or any of the movements you've done before, make a practice. If you have a daily practice of at least the shaking and tapping, play with one movement that we've done before. Go back to the recordings and like Monique said, let yourself find the superpower in it and play around with or the fire and play around with that edge. So thank you all. Appreciate you being here. Have a great day. Bye.